beautiful and amazing souls. How are you doing today? For you guys tuning in for the first time, my name is Sarah Angela Aching, and welcome to the 5-episode series of Self-Love Chronicles, and this is episode 3. So welcome guys, if you've been tuned in, karibu sana. As in from the first video, and if you're starting now, this is your first video, it will make sure you just go and watch the first and the second one. So for today, allow me guys, I had to take notes because a lot has been going on. I think I'll share like later on, but just a tip. I started something new and it is amazing. Okay, it's not really new, it's something I've been doing, but I really never put in my energy sana. So I decided to zero on it, and we'll talk about it towards the end of the video. So today's topic is on setting boundaries without guilt. So this is it. Self-awareness for that topic itself is really key. Okay, setting boundaries without guilt. So the first step is being aware that when you set boundaries, or when you try to set boundaries in a way, you will feel guilty. Okay, which is not actually a bad thing, by the way. As much as I have over mentioned in some previous videos, guilt is not it's a low vibration frequency. But at some point in this situation, if you feel guilt and you're aware that you're feeling guilt, it's a breakthrough process. It's part of the breakthrough, like, whoa, something is really happening, something is really changing, you get. So you feel the attachment you had being loose. And so self-awareness, during that process, you'll be like, you want to know what's triggering you, what's triggering the guilt process. At times, you'll get, like, you guys, I'm really not good with notes, points and everything, but let me just try and go with the flow. So Holy Spirit, just do you. So this self-awareness thing is very key to first identify, like, why are you feeling guilty? Why are you not comfortable? Or why can't you just say no? Why can't you not just say wait? Why do you feel guilty when you say wait? Are you trying to please someone? And then you feel like now you've let them down. You get, there's that car concept, which is not really bad when you have that car. But look at it from this point of view. Were you in that energy space? Were you having that energy? Were you having that, were you full before you want to go and fill someone else? Were you really full? Were you empty, trying to go and fill someone else with your emptiness? You get? So awareness at that point is really key, because the moment you identify, like, maybe let's give an instance for gays who can't say no to probably friendship, or even to close family members, friends, relationships, whatever. But here is you, every time something is asked from you, it's always yes. If you had something to do, you're willing to break it off just because at some point you don't want to feel like you're the one who is rebellious, or you're the one who you don't want to feel like you're not how will I put this, like you're not pleasing, or you're not how do we call these people who are just always, you're just always there. You're proving to be very vulnerable, and you just want to always be, and you want to feel needy. Not actually needy, you want to feel needed. You get? You want to feel needed. You want to feel like guys can always count on you. You're the one I'm talking to. Hey? My friend, don't be that person in life. It will not end well. Okay? Even if you cut off some expectation and you'll be like, you know what, I just want to be there for people and I will not expect them to be there back for me. That's also another big lie. Because now that is where you have like a covenant or an agreement with some things. I don't want to say spirits or whatever, but that kind of spirit of not being there for yourself. Because clearly, again, for this video chronicles series, I've always been mentioning about how important it is to understand that if you neglect yourself, you're neglecting the God in you. So if you feel like you're religious, if you feel like you're spiritual and you're neglecting yourself at any point, it means you're neglecting your creator. Yeah, unless you worship someone else, something else like that is really not able to be inside of you, that's idolizing. But if you really, really in this life do not have time to really ever be there for yourself and you dedicate your life. Have you ever had, let me tell you one thing I learned, sorry. One thing I learned a few weeks ago with bonds of some ties people make in terms of poverty. You get, and how you continue wrapping yourself into poverty mindset and poverty covenants is when you give from a point of you don't have anything, but you would rather deny yourself that little that would have really pushed you to give someone else every time and you remain without. I didn't know. Yeah, it's always not okay to give from a point of you're empty. I used to be number one in that. I really used to believe in that. It sounds good, it sounds really nice to put other people's needs ahead of it. It's a good thing. But at what point are you giving in ahead of yours? You get, are you at an empty point or are you at a full point in terms of am I able? There are so many ways you can show love to someone. You can show support to someone who is going through something. So many ways, even as deep as just praying. For some who will think it's as shallow, or just sending love to that person. Even in terms of planting a seed, initially I never really used to like get the planting a seed in church and religion, planting seeds. At times you do not have that financial capability to really plant or sow that seed that you would really want to go a long way. It's something you really like trusting God for. Like I would give 1,000,000 if I could. But there are other ways you can really plant a seed with, which starts with sending love to people, praying for people. You're just dedicating a prayer session just for people as a sign of showing God you're planting a seed for what you believe in God for. Yeah, so back to the self-boundary thing, yeah? Yeah, so self-awareness is key at that point. Get to know, is it the reason why you can't say no or you don't have these boundaries? Is it because of a childhood trauma? There are many reasons why some of us, especially millennials, cannot set boundaries these days. It was either due to upbringing, due to trauma, like parental caregiving person who is in charge. You're not allowed to say no. When you're sent, you go and you run and you don't question. So you're older, you're in this relationship, you're in this career, you're in this job, and something is demanded from you which is actually way outside your expectations from your contract, and out of your scope kabisa, but you're expected to fulfill that duty without question, and you will do it without question, nagging, moaning, you're angry, you're cussing on the side, and you're still doing it. And again, that's a very big part of why some people say like there's slavery kind of concept in people who are really working under someone, because you cannot speak your truth. You cannot stand up for yourself when you feel like something is not right. These are the rules, and you feel like you have to comply with that because you're dependent on this salary at the end of this month. And that brings you to a level of unhappiness throughout your career. And you end up working there for 30, 40 years. And by the time you're retiring, you have been a bitter soul, earning money, and at some point they say money is energy and everything. And then now you come, and now you're sitting there, and you don't feel fulfilled at all. You feel empty, you feel like there's some things you missed out on, you feel like life really happened at some point. It's like you were a walking dead or something. So people feel a lot of unhappiness and unself-fulfillment, especially when you really neglected yourself. Okay, so yeah, I'm trying to get a point I didn't mention, and so I'm really trying to, yeah. So yeah, I think there's a point I had written down, and it was mostly important, especially when it comes to what are really boundaries, you get. So for me, in my awakening journey, I came to realize that boundaries were really not the physical fence, or rather a mental fence you put around you as such, but you come to look at it more of like a bridge you build to connect you with healthy relationships. Because the moment you have boundaries, like healthy boundaries, you have this group of friends, you have your loved ones around you, and there's this way that when something is asked or required from you, and you're not in the space per se at that particular moment, it's okay to say no, kindly and firmly. You get? So you see how that flow has gone. Some of us before that, it wasn't really. Utaki story mob, you'll just get up and go. You don't want complications, you want issues, you always the yes person. You get? So even in relationships, this can really help, especially when there's this boundary of you set your own boundaries, your partner sets their own boundaries, and it's easier because at that point you know when to approach someone and when not to. There's a level of respect when boundaries are respected. You get, even in two individuals in a relationship. Don't ever put yourself in a perspective of we are one, as in there are no boundaries, or you expect only boundaries from one person to be not to be, especially now probably the woman. You're like, yeah, mi ndo kusema and everything, and you can't do this to me but I can do this to you. You can't. Those are really unhealthy relationships. Yeah, because at the end of the day, there'll be that codependency chain of which we spoke from in the other video. We're trying to break from all parties. Okay, no one should be expecting the other person to make them happy. You get? So it's more of a bridge, because when you get to understand that probably your partner is a bit drained today. You get? He's drained. I can't expect this and this from him right now. And even you make it clear. You get? We can't do this and this because today I'm feeling, and it's okay. I won't take it personal. You get? And the other person should also not take it personal when this person is not in the space to do a certain activity. I'm not going to contribute, but yeah, as in various other activities. Something draining, something you have to do it because it's a family thing. So there are wise and better ways to stay in a partnership, especially when boundaries are maintained. So out of the self-love chronicles, this is one of them. Okay, boundaries, it's important, it's really key. I tell you, if you respect boundaries and you understand that so and so is angry at this point, and you understand me as my partner or as my family member or as my friend, that when I get angry, I may say things I would wish to take back, but I will not be able to take back. So you, as that loving person, should be in a position to also love yourself. First, understand that you wouldn't want this person to say things out of the way. Honey, tunajipenda. We don't really want all this drama to escalate more than it has already. Let's give it another space for someone to process the emotions, and then you get how that boundary thing has come. Because me, I'm like, you're at a point of you can't, don't push someone who doesn't want to communicate at that point. Because pushing again can really be destructive. So you deciding to give this person space and out of you loving yourself, okay? Because I also have boundaries. I cannot want to speak to someone who doesn't want to speak to me. People are different, okay? So the moment you come and understand your friend is normally like this, and your friend doesn't like this and this, that boundary they have set, if you really love them and respect them, whenever a situation comes up that you might have to cross that boundary and you choose not to, is showing love even to the other person. Okay, so for me, that's the kind of deep love, self-love I'm talking about. That's the kind of self-love I urge people to really have. And when we all practice such kind of self-love, I kid you not, the world would be such a beautiful and amazing place, because you don't have to fight about everything. You don't have to respond to everything. You get? Someone said something out of anger, honey. You was angry. And I'll not take anything you say out of anger personally. Because you understand that, yes, let me tell you something, by the way. People can really, when it comes to, okay, this is a bit out of topic, but let me just say this one. People can be having a lot of thoughts, some not expressed fully, through verbal communication, some just your eyes witness and you're like, okay, you're ready to download it, you let it go like that. Some hearing blind, seeing deaf kind of thing. And one day, something just triggers it and it comes out. So that's why even in spirituality, there's a point you'll come to understand that there are times even people who are close to you, the devil can use them to get to you. Okay, if the spirit of anger wants to be removed out of you, the devil will come from even as low as your children and loved ones, to trigger that anger in you, for you to get angry. But God is such a God of justice, compassion, love, everything. So that's why God is really slow to anger. There are some things humans will say out of anger. It's not that you really meant it. But at that particular point of whatever triggered you to get to that point, you escalated from 0 to 100, was something probably undealt with, a hidden trauma, something just pulled you to that place. So if we all had this kind of self-love and this kind of boundaries, when someone says something out of anger, don't take it personal. Don't be taking things people say out of anger personal, because it leads to resentment. And resentment, I mentioned in another video, is like taking poison and expecting someone else to die. You get? It's not healthy, not even for you. So when you have these boundaries and you have these firm boundaries around you, like, you know what? For me, if something is said out of anger, if something is said out of malice, my friend, I will not take it to heart. I will not put it in my heart. If an action is done out of ignorance, out of anger, yes, I will see, yes, I will. Because there's a difference between observing, okay? There's a difference between observing and absorbing. You can just observe a situation. You can really observe a situation, and then at times you can really choose to absorb. Like, Nani just said this. This is how they said it, and you start picturing and replaying how they said it and how you respond and what you would have said. Now you're absorbing this energy. You're absorbing it. You're absorbing the anger. You're feeling. Normalize setting boundaries of when someone is trying to trigger you, even a loved one, because I'm telling you, even a parent, anyone can get to that point for the devil to try you. Even the people you least expected can shove that finger up your ass and just say something really bad or do something really bad. Na hiyo ndo what we saying, majaribu ni kama moto. As in, those are the majaribus. They're the ones in this life. Most of one day, I hope everyone will come to understand that most of the time, spirituality, religion, all of this is just zeroing around emotional intelligence. And the key is self-love. And I'm talking about self-love from within. Deep boundaries. Okay? Boundaries. Just because someone called you the meanest words and you chose to look at it like, okay, this person seems hurt. This person seems broken. Or even ignore. Ignoring is also a thing. It's also a very powerful weapon. And silence. And then you learn. Then you're like, okay. When your emotions are high, your intelligence is low. When your intelligence is high, your emotions are low. And self-love will help you maneuver such kind of emotional intelligence. Boundaries. My boundaries are I will not allow anyone to make me feel a certain type of way. I will not allow anyone to come on my personal space like this. I will not allow anyone to have my response in terms of anger. I'll not give you that power. Understanding that when you respond to someone else's trigger, especially when they're making you, or their intention is to make you angry, and you get angry, they have power over you. I'm sorry to burst that bubble. So when you don't get angry, they don't have power over you because they can't get you angry. And then another thing I'd really love to add you guys, I'm at 26 minutes, I'm ending this video in the next 3. What I'd love to add you guys, anytime you say no, anytime you feel like I'm not in a position to do for this person this favor, don't feel guilty. Don't feel like you're being selfish. Don't feel like, yeah, kinda you are being selfish, because the concept of God is a jealous God inaingilianga hapo, because the moment you deny yourself and give someone else, the divine in you will feel some type of way, and again you'll be not loving yourself and not loving God in you, and there will be consequences. So another thing I wanted to add, something else I wanted to add you guys is that even when you feel guilty, don't stop the process. Just understand that you're growing, and it's part of the breaking the cycle. And then again, what I'd like to add you guys is that you should always normalize coming to the point where you don't have to over explain yourself. Don't. Yeah, let you know, just be a firm no. Don't explain to someone why you're saying no if you really have to over explain it. If it's a long thing and they won't get it, just don't. If you know they won't get it, forget about it. Okay? Just brush it off. I can't do it now. Here's the thing. I can't do it now. I'm not in that space. Let me think about it. And then I'll let you know. Give me time to think about it. And then I'll let you know. That's also a thing. You get? It's a boundary, polite thing. So, and to believe I've said everything. Yeah. And the last and important part is don't forget to set emotional and energetic boundaries in terms of also self-loving yourself. Excuse me, because there are these things when it comes to energy and emotion. Set boundaries. What are you watching? Are you always into watching sad things? Are you always into watching people's sad emotional stories? And then you want your life to change to be something like really good, but you're constantly watching every negative instance that is happening to people. You are there. You know, you're there. So set these boundaries. It's okay when someone else is going through something. It's okay. It's part of the life cycle. You know, there has to be ups, there has to be downs, it's that more. It's, you know, putting in a word of prayer for the collective is also something amazing. Pray for people you don't even know. You know, commit your nation, commit the motherless, commit the orphans, pray a general prayer out there. Just sending, that is another sign of way of sending love to people. So normalize not wallowing so much in low frequency news and information every time, especially on social media. Normalize looking at beautiful things, beautiful stories, so that you can operate in that frequency as much as you want beautiful things to happen to you. So that's it for today, guys. And I had mentioned I was having something. So I'm a nutritionist by profession, and I had this business idea for the longest time. I've been doing it in and out. So this time I birthed it anew. It's my nutrition agency, and it's called Sarah's Wellness Heaven, and I'm integrating all this amazing mindset ideas, nutrition, personal self-help, and self-growth, and just intertwining mind, body, spirit, and soul into one beautiful and amazing thing. And in it, the nutrition key, and why we really say that you are what you eat. So in terms of everything I'll be offering in the program, yeah, it'll be a deeper and different kind of, I think I'll introduce that later, because I see this video is really moving. I don't want to do something big. So I'll talk about it more in detail, I think, on my next video. But yeah, if you're following me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and my WhatsApp also has a lot of details on that. So you guys stay tuned. I will be like explaining it. I'll take just one fine day to explain to you why I'm not your regular nutritionist. Okay? So love you guys. See you. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to comment. And yeah, thanks for guys who are already subscribed. I love you and thank you so much. I really pray every day for my followers, every day, that God may just fulfill you in ways you will not understand by listening to me and following my advice. I love you guys. That's it for today. Good night.